Yes, sir. I'm Rakshita Chauhan, and I'm an educator. I love to learn different things, love different ways of animation and art and craft, and then I like to impart that knowledge to small kids. Hello.
Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Rakshita has been working on Blender, right?
Yes, sir. Blender.
She works on.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I'm having my YouTube channel also with name Hobby Tree.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody next?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Shunika. Go ahead.
Hello everyone, I'm Shrunika. I'm assistant professor of French at the University of Madras in Chennai. And I've been teaching French language literature and translation for almost 10 years now. And I've been a part of ALW on just for a few months, but I did the LCM MOOC, and even generally active learning, technology enabled learning has been my area of research for the last few years. And I'm looking forward to learning to publish more about my research work through the workshop. So pleasure to meet all of you. I think I've heard your names heard about your names in other EdTech Society live webinars and Blender masterclass and things like that. So pleasure to meet all of you, and hope to maybe exchange ideas and research practices. Thank you.
Yes. Go ahead. Yeah, keep going.
Hello everyone, I'm Shruti Handa, and I'm assistant professor in Department of Computer Science at Khalsa College for Women, Ludhiana, and I'm also part of active learning workshop, and I have been done research before, so I'm looking forward to learn how to do research and write research paper. So that's it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, good evening everyone, good evening sir. My name is Krishnakant Roy, and I teach at Symbiosis School of Economics, and my area of research is education and technology. So I'm doing PhD in the area of computer education with schools basically. So yeah, I'm interested to collaborate, maybe do more research with EdTech Society. Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead, Natasha.
Everyone, I'm Natasha Gomes from Goa University, and I'm looking forward to this experience of developing my research skills and being able to come up hopefully with a paper at the end of the workshop. So yes, it's about me.
Yes. Saroja.
Hi everyone. Sorry if I'm looking really jaded. I had a full day workshop online and jumped right into this meeting as well. So I'm Saroja from Bengaluru, the city that is celebrating elections today, election results today, and because of which we were sitting at home since there was section 144 all around. I teach at Srishti Manipal Institute of Art, Design and Technology. Most of my research as such so far has been in the area of literary and cultural studies. Although as a language teacher, I have tried to use technology in various interesting ways. And yeah, I definitely like to transform whatever shapeless data that I have into a more coherent paper through this workshop. Thank you.
Yeah, Shreya.
Hey, hi everyone. Hello, sir. I am an undergraduate student pursuing a BS in Data Science and Application from IIT Madras. And in the past few months, I've been working with the BS degree. And in the process, I have successfully published a paper in ITI CSE conference, so which piqued my interest in EdTech, and I look forward to working with you all on and getting to know more about this field through this workshop.
Okay, I think these are the participants per se. We have some buddies also joining in, and these buddies are mostly from the Department of EdTech. I am able to see only Rakshita and Shreya as the people that I am. They were not directly connected with the EdTech department or EdTech society. I have never interacted with them in the past, but I have been interacting with rest of all actually. So it has come to a very different outcome, which I did not expect. Okay, so we are not heard from. Okay, so Nandan, can you tell me if how many people have actually registered on the course? Like, have they used the login password, or rather, tell me who have not. That could be a short
We have sent email to 13 participants, out of which I can see 7
joining
are
in.
joined. Yeah,
So 6 haven't joined.
yeah.
So let me guess the ones who have not joined yet. Okay, so who have not joined?
Anupriya,
Yeah, Veena,
Ganesh, Veena.
Okay. Shulika has not joined yet, but she will join.
Yeah, Anup Kulkarni also not.
Okay. Ankush Kulkarni. Have you joined?
And Kush is not joined.
Let us, I think, let us get going now,
Yeah.
so that we don't wait for it. Okay, so now you can start streaming, and we will
Okay.
record from this point onwards. Now, 6:40. Are you on?
Yeah.
You can share the screen now and then put up the. You can go ahead.
So can I go with sir? Yeah. Hi everyone. Since you have given an introduction, we are also like to introduce ourselves. So I am Nandan PA. I am a 4th year PhD research scholar at the Education Technology Department at Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay. So this workshop is actually an outreach activity of EdTech Society. So our goal of this workshop is to actually help the participants, mostly school teachers, college, and some EdTech industry practitioners also. So they are having experience in their professional area. Teachers are most of the teachers are having 5-6 years of experience and all. So they may not have a research orientation, but they are doing some effective, innovative practices in their actual practice. So this workshop is mainly actually an action research kind of workshop, where will help you to learn the basics of research methodology in education technology domain, and will provide mentors. So we call research buddies. So we'll provide research buddies from IIT Bombay and also from experienced teachers and researchers. Few of them are from outside IIT also. So we are providing 2 weeks of learning about the research methodology and subsequent learning along with the mentors. So this workshop will be coordinated by Samir and Jayakrishnan. Samir, you already introduced by himself. He's a professor of practice in design right now at IIT Gandhinagar. He also had a long collaboration with IIT Bombay also. Then Jayakrishnan is a senior scientist at NPTEL. He is having a lot of experience in conducting large scale workshops and courses. Yeah. So you can continue.
Okay, so yes, so we had a drop in between where we saw Shreya drop out, but I think she's back because all of you need to be on your keypads right now because like the tradition goes, we will start with the reflection spot. And now since we are online, all of you need to actually go ahead to answer it using chat. Okay, so each one has to type one answer. Okay, so can you click once, Nandan? Okay, so each one has to write one answer to the question that I am going to pose. And I am going to pose 2 questions. So let us do one by one. So you can click once more, Nandan. Okay. Now we are talking about a research paper right now, and we have actually orchestrated all these things for the forthcoming conference called as T4E, or Technology for Education. And if you have gone through the website and the call for papers and other details about the conference, you will see that it has various aspects of how technology and education are connected. Now, in order to get that, we realize that a lot of people, especially post-pandemic, have been working with technology, whether willingly or unwillingly. But the good part is that they are working, and in fact, many of them have found out indigenous solutions because of this forced migration to the educational technology areas, which we thought would be an ideal case for publishing papers. But as it turns out, educational research is slightly different, maybe marginally different, or even I can say that it's a lot of different than traditional research. And therefore, we need to understand how do we do it. In order to do that, we have put up a series of content curated from various locations and added activities to it. We have also added a couple of assignments to it. And what we want to do is that we will go through this content for a week from now, and then again assemble next Saturday probably to discuss the second side of the whole thing. But eventually we want to target this that by June 25, which is the deadline given by the T4E coordinators, we should be able to publish something. Now, assuming that the deadline doesn't change, we have around 40 days in our hand. Now, frankly speaking, you all have an idea in your mind, and you have also communicated that to us, and that is the reason that you are here, because we had to filter ideas. We got almost 22 ideas, out of which 13 were selected for the workshop. So it proves the point that your idea had some metal in it. So that you should be all happy about. Now, what you should be worried about is that how that idea can get to a level of a paper. Now, within the scope of a paper, there are various elements of paper, right? And you know that, like, there could be literature review, there could be data, there could be data analysis, there could be so many other things. Now, answer this question by typing out one element, like you can each one write one element of your research paper maybe, that can be created in 40 days. You can definitely come up with that. So, and you can say how. You can say like that data already exists, or I can do extensive browsing and visit libraries and whatever. You can give whatever answer you want. But just each one type one. 1 minute. Okay, we've started getting responses. Natasha, Saroja, Krishnakant. There is a okay. Yeah, Saroja, you can give like how can you analyze the exam? You can also say like what method you will use and. Okay, so Natasha said literature review can be done in 40 days because we can go to existing papers and synthesizing topics. Same with Saroja, who says that we can do the literature review part during this period. We have heard about it from Krishnakant says, yeah, all aspects should be done ideally, and yes, it is. That's how we have to. Otherwise, how will we beat the deadline if we say that okay, we are not going to submit the literature review section because we did not have time? Rakshita, okay. So data collection and analysis is the answer. Okay, analysis of existing data, says Saroja. Brief description, pros and cons, and outcomes can be written about, says Rakshita. Literature review to problem identification and, if possible, solution design with study plan. Okay, so just the plan, basically, that is not the element, right? Because the research paper cannot have a plan. Research paper has to have some implementation, right? Positioning of the paper by literature review. Okay, Shreya says. Okay. Shruti says methodology by implementation. Okay, so basically you mean to say you can decide the methodology and implement it during 40 days. Identifying patterns in data and links between data and conceptual links. Okay, great. So yeah, even though we are not talking about like exact method, like are you going to use a t-test or you're going to use ANOVA and things like that, that's not what we are looking at. So that's a good enough answer. Nandan, can you just change one slide, click once. Okay. Now you can write what is like simply not possible according to you in the next 40 days. Now you can't give the same answers, by the way, right? So Krishnakant Roy, it has to be element of the paper, not the action. Data collection and questionnaire can't happen in 40 days, is what Shrunika says. Okay, why? You have to also answer why. Let us see. Conducting a study that involves classroom teaching if classrooms are not accessible. Okay, fine. Because classrooms are not accessible. Organization scheduling issues. Okay. 40 days is enough to schedule, right? Can you unmute and talk?
So it depends on the sample size also, sir. If you have a small sample size, yes, we can do it in 40 days.
Yeah.
But if you're interviewing a bigger sample size, then, and if you're interviewing a varied group, then I think that will affect our scheduling.
Let us not create a monster when we have to list out a problem. Let us assume for the paper that we are targeting, right? Obviously, we cannot probably get 2.5 lakh interviews done in 40 days. That I understand. But then why do we need 2.5 lakh interviews? That should be justified. If we need only 3 interviews, then why can't it be done? So it's a very generalized answer that it requires organization. So be specific, like not possible to do this.
So I think in my case, I would say that reaching out to participants, in that sometimes there are even delay in responses. Even before that, finalizing the questionnaire, deciding the various steps, the modalities of whether some people may agree to do it in person or some people may agree to do it online. So I think the modalities that also plays a role, I feel.
Yeah. Okay. But again, you have not given the specific answer. Like, how many are you targeting right now? Like, so you can say, for example, my answer could be creating 5 animations for conducting a research on which animation communicates better and has a good user interface for the learners. If that is my research problem, then creating 5 animations in 40 days and then testing them is a problem. So you should be that specific. Don't be global. Like organization is a problem, sample size is a problem. So no such thing. Give me a particular. So I can say that okay, I can manage to create 2 animations and do it at best, because animation will take 7 days. Probably 2 animations will take 14 days. Rest of the days I'll spend on data collection. Something like that. Okay, Natasha says it is not possible to do actual intervention plus analysis in 40 days because it takes time to get required permissions as currently students are on holiday. Okay. So sample is classroom students where you cannot get them to answer your questionnaires. Okay, that could be one. How about using digital students, like online students? Okay, anybody else has an answer? I got very few answers on what cannot be created. I am assuming that the rest of the people don't find anything which cannot be created. So they are like probably agreeing that yes, everything can be created. Anybody wants to say it rather than write it? Everything can be created. Okay. Okay. Now that is also too generic. Like. Yeah, in-depth qualitative analysis can be very hard to do as data collection with permission and feature identification requires time. Okay. So this one, so it has all 3 things into it, like data collection, permission, feature identification and in-depth qualitative analysis, like all four, right, Shreya?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, okay. Collection of data from students. Okay, Rakshita says. Yeah, they are still vague. Like I am not very happy with this vague thing, but yeah, maybe you can be specific. Like what would be your problem as such, or this is a hypothetical answer you are giving, and for your research, things are in place, so you don't have to worry about it. Is it the condition?
Yeah, sir, can I say it?
Ah.
Is it? Yeah. So, sir, one of the research I'm currently doing is trying to understand how computers are impacting PMC schools in Maharashtra, let's say. Now, they told me that students are on leave. So, data collection is a major challenge for me because next 1.5 months, I'll not get students. So, if the study is like something which requires data collection of some agents or actors which are not available for, let's say, next 40 days, then that's a challenge.
Okay. Anybody else? Has the problem solved? Like for me, data collection is not the problem. Let's say data is available. Is there anything that is still? So most of the answers come to the point that data collection is not a problem because it's a holiday time. So let us conclude on that. Assuming like okay, we'll do something for the data, then what? Then is everything else falling in place? Anybody wants to unmute and speak?
I would like to say that even if data is there, say for instance, as part of interviews, sometimes it's not only having the data, but being able to code it and then analyze, the coded data to be able to come up with a cohesive piece. That could also be a challenge if you don't know what you're searching for, you don't know the methodology of going about with it.
Right. Okay. So coding interview data could be a bottleneck. Okay. Anything else? If the data is available, if you have interview transcripts, that's also a used thing to have. The audio files are the easiest to have. Anybody has a specific query? Okay.
Another can be theory development, because theory development requires a lot of time. If let's say I'm trying to develop a theory, that may take a lot of time because you have to go through a lot of literature, you have to think a lot, you have to interact a lot. So in my opinion, 40 days is not maybe enough if I've started working on a new theory altogether and trying to develop it.
So if I now ask most amazing question, like what would be an ideal timeline to have everything in place for a paper? Like how long would be ideal? It would not be 40 days. Then how much? How many days?
Around a month, sir. If everything is in place, if the objective is clear.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
40 days is more than a month.
Yeah. So if the objective is clear.
No.
You are asking about theory development.
No. Everything put together, like we have discussed, like these things are not possible in 40 days. Okay. Now my point is, how many days are required then? If 40 days are not sufficient, then how many days are required?
My answer is, Natasha, you can go ahead. Yeah.
I would probably say that it depends on, timely doing things. Like, that these are the elements that are there and just devoting time for it and getting the job done, basically.
Probably 3 years also could be insufficient in some cases.
Exactly.
And 3 months could be more than sufficient for certain cases. And 30 days could be also option if it comes to that. Okay, so the bottom line here is that in most of the cases, it is about it is about the scoping of your problem and fitting it into the requirement of the conference or wherever you are sending it, and to align with the objectives of the conference or the themes of the conference, and so on and so forth. And at the same time, because we are doing educational research, we have to know about it. So why I brought this up is because we, in this whole thing, we are going to see how, and in fact, let me tell you very frankly, because gone through certain sessions by Professor Sahana and Professor Sridhar when we initially started off on educational research, because personally, forget about educational research, I was not even in research before I joined IIT. I was totally a entertainment person, making films and doing animation and things like that. So I was really far away from writing, publication, research, and so on and so forth. So when I got the first introduction to educational research, I actually got it in a very, I should say, very user-friendly manner. That it actually told me that if you have a precise scope of your paper, in fact, that's very easy to come up with a paper idea and publish it within the borders of educational research. And that is what we thought of conducting this workshop on, because we realized that many of us have been doing some interventions, new techniques, new practices using technology in various formats. And but the moment we think of publishing about it, then there is maybe we take too much on our plate, and that leads to actually such a big issue that we never publish it. In order to break this jinx, probably we thought that let us look at options of how to publish rather than how to take a decision not to publish it. So we just thought of it in this direction. And therefore, Nandan has been actually working in the background all this time to curate content by discussing with Susana, Jai Krishnan from IIT Madras, and a couple of other people to come up with a plan. So, Nandan, can you actually just share the outline? Yeah, either here or we can also do it on the platform itself. So you can start showing the way in which it will happen. Okay. So all of you must have received the link by now, and this is how the course page looks like. This is created using LMS called as Tutor LMS, and this is right now running on the EdTech Society server. So you will see it under EdTech Society domain. We want to keep this course on. In fact, we are trying to see if we can give it out to others also just to view it, because a lot of other people will be interested. But we just thought of using this group as the starting point. So this is the tab section. Like we have course info, we have reviews, we have announcements and resources. Okay. And we will talk about these are the learning objectives of the course, and we will be going through various steps on that. We have lots of curated videos, we have reading material and assignments as like mandatory. If you look at the week one part right now, so we have two parts actually. One is about introduction to research methods, and other is about delving slightly deeper into the research. So these two things are currently uploaded here. Barring the optional watch here, because don't get daunted by this 1 hour 14 minutes and 1 hour 16-minute video. They are really long, but they are an optional watch. So if you just remove them, probably the overall watching time is less than an hour, around 50 minutes or so. So we also have a LPD and an activity, and we will also upload a assignment. I am sure, right, Nandan?
Yes, sir. There will be an assignment for the idea proposal submission. That will be uploaded after this online meeting.
We have
Yeah.
Can you hear?
but fine. Okay, okay. I think it's a problem with Nandan. Nandan, you can just I will type.
Yeah, I can
Surbi
hear.
Sharma has joined. Oh, hi Surbi. Can you introduce yourself by the time we get the network back?
Yes, sir. Good evening. I am Surbhi Sharma from Department of Education, University of Lucknow, and I'm just researching on the efficacy of MOOCs in my department. I'm working on some MOOC platforms, and will be developing a MOOC course with my supervisor. So that is my field of interest.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
I was just showing, probably, I don't know when did you join, but you must have received this course link.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
course is uploaded, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and if you go to the next section of the week 1, that is delving into research methods, you will see that we have some more content here, which is also, oh, it shows 00 everywhere. And then
Because I hided it,
Because
it will be
I
visible
hided
only
it, it will be visible
particular
only after a particular date,
how?
May 20.
Yeah.
May 20. Okay, next week. It is the next week's content.
Yeah. Yes.
Not this.
Yes.
Okay. Fine. Okay, great. So all in all, you have only less than an hour of content to be read or viewed. Okay.
And
So
all
all these
these LEDs, no, the learning dialogues, there will be some in-video questions, reflection spot. So those things are not graded, but it's actually these questions will help you to reflect about what you just watched from that video. So we encourage all of you to go through all these in-video reflection spot within this video. It will be like within the video a pop-up will come. You have to pause the video and try to do the activity. Then after you play that, the instructor will summarize about that activity. Those summarization will be a kind of a general feedback to that reflection spot. So in all of these LEDs, there will be 2-3 reflection spots. Yeah. So.
Okay. And as I said, there will be a LPD and there will be assignment also uploaded in some short while from now. What we want you to do is as follows. The assignment is going to be a paper writing template. Okay, so that's a template used by our department for a long time now, and we have been trying it out with various teams and that worked so far. We thought of using the same to get onto the writing part. I would be suggesting to all of you that those who have clarity about their ideas and they have done certain work in that, you don't have to really hold back in giving more data about it. Like even if it is saying that, okay, write about some literature review and some topics and all that. If you have done some parts, please free to add more details to it. At the same time, you can also maintain a different document where you can write the paper in that format also. You can just start jotting down your idea, so that it is not a surprise sentence here, but just as a caution and a suggestion, maybe a tip, that the paper cannot be written in night out, basically. So we have to remember that. So it has to be written at every day. Some portion has to be written there. Only then it will come up with a good paper. Mostly a night out paper is not. It doesn't culminate into a really good one. So avoid that temptation that, okay, I would put in lot of effort in thinking and jotting down ideas, and finally one fine night I'll just complete it. So that doesn't happen. Keep jotting down all the time. So if you can just open up a paper template and start adding up wherever you can, that would be better. And keep sharing that, because this group is going to be slightly lot of back and forth things. We are going to add lot of research buddies to your content writing stage, and that process will happen based on your submissions. So earlier the better. We have lots of research buddies already who are experienced in writing educational research papers, and they would be interacting with you. They would be contributing to the writing part. They would be contributing to the sharpening of your ideas and so on and so forth. And they would also be writing in the sense along with you, if the parts have to be explained in a particular manner. So that would be the advantage of having a research buddy, because we have more one-on-one interaction. So this is the plan of action. I would like to answer questions if you have any, and that's all actually what I had to say. So over to all of you.
So the template that is given, right? The template that you have given. Let's say we are going to work on it over the next 2 weeks, and let's say we will bring it to a shape at the end of the second week. Should it be the same paper that we will submit to T4E, or
Yes.
Okay.
So the template is a generic template. This template has nothing to do with the conference template. This is the paper writing template. It is a generic template. We will use this template to start writing our ideas, but you can also start looking at T4E conference template. Maybe Nandan, you can post the link of the T4E paper template also, if they have specified something on the conference website. You can add this as additional material resources.
Yes.
That people it's a pain later on to migrate from one template to other. Maybe they can start from day one to write in that way.
Okay.
Okay, so the whole idea is like this. By this week, you'll figure out what is a paper, what is not a paper. You'll figure out what is literature review, what is not literature review. You'll probably also look at how to do the literature review so that you can apply it in your own paper. You will go through the template for ideation purpose and enter your details into it. By the end of the week, when we meet again next Saturday, we will have based on the submissions, we will start reviewing them and assigning research buddies to you. And The next session is going to be how do we proceed from there, and what are the various data analytics part, and if we have chosen a particular research method. It is going to be a diverse thing. Like some people may have chosen qualitative and quantitative. So again, the content is going to be variable. You may have to look into the respective content only. It will, even if it looks like long content list, you may not be able to required to look at everything at that time. You may only go into your own purpose of this, how to plan your study and so on and so on. So when that happens, after that third one, like the 27th of next of this month, is the time we will probably breakout rooms will start happening. So we may have on-call meetings to discuss the paper's progress, but it will mostly be having lot of one-on-one meetings with your research buddies. That is how it is going to be. And from 27th of May to 25th of June is that 1 month where the writing part will take care. I am just hoping and suggesting and praying that E4E coordinators extend the deadline. By how much is the question? So we are designing everything to culminate on 25th of June. If they extend, well and good. If not, yeah, we'll anyway try to submit something. Okay. Another piece of information that I would like to just share at this point. When we say scoping a paper, there are variants available in a research publication also, right? For example, it starts with a poster, which is just maybe some cases, some conferences take it as only 2-page paper or something. I don't know whether we have announced posters in this conference, but if we have, it would be so. And many a times this is done after the review stage. You have sent in a short paper, but the reviewers feel that it's not having enough information, data, and nothing strong idea as such, but it has a good case study to be given out to people or something like that, then it can be converted to a poster depending on their decision. And basically the content is such that it is in a good format to print it and stand next to it and explain it to people. If the content is of that category, then most of the time it is converted to a poster by the reviewers. Then we have a short paper, of course, like 4 pages or something. Then we have a long paper, which is 7 to 8 pages, and so on and so on. So we need to look at what are the reviewers going to do with our submissions. We should be aware of that. Because if it is falling short of something, they may cut it down to a short paper. So be sure about what we are aiming at. No questions as of now. I have questions when I start. Okay. Anybody has any other questions? Chunika, go ahead.
Sir, I don't see I just logged into the Tutor LMS. I don't see a discussion forum, so I'm assuming the Telegram group is going to be our discussion forum, right?
Yes.
And we can raise all questions there.
Yes.
Okay.
Nandan was very particular about it. He said like, okay, no user ID, no personal phone number shared and all that, and so we just use the user ID and use Telegram for that. So yeah, that's how we. Natasha, go ahead.
This is probably a question and maybe a request also. So I can see that module 2 will be released only on the 20th of the month. If it is possible to release it a little earlier, because I know, like personally, I know I'm available in this next week, so I'll be able to complete both the content, like module 1 and module 2. So if it's released, it would really help me. So
the bigger bottleneck is the assignment in between the two. So if you complete that, there is no problem for us to share it with you, but we will share it.
Okay. Thank you.
Nandan, can you do it like for select members, you can share it at a particular point? Is it possible?
That option I have to check right now.
Okay. So we don't have early bird benefit here.
Yeah.
Or maybe, sir, if it works like Moodle, if you finish all the
Yeah.
videos of week 1 and then you move on to week 2. So
Yeah.
You have
that is
access to
possible.
Videos, it is mostly about the assignment. I'm more interested in looking at the submissions of the assignment. Because, okay, let me tell you, this is not a consume only and forget wala course. Like we have taken a lot of efforts in curating it, putting it together, going to LMS, getting EdTech Society roped into it, and getting their members, screening them, finding out research buddies for them. So this all should not be just for viewing some videos and getting out of it. Okay. The outcome is certainly not that. Okay. So paper writing, in fact, I will not be, I won't be, yeah, I would be blunt to say that if the paper is not suitable for T4E at the end of the day, probably we are okay with it. You can send it to some other conference or some other journal. But paper writing should be the outcome, right? So that should be the foremost idea. If it falls into T4E domain, well and good, we all can meet in person. That would be a motivation. Okay, rationale of the course, design and presentation of course design along with content sufficient without data from running the course. That is the specific point I'm struggling with since my course will run in July. Okay, I want to see few published papers of this nature if that is possible. Discipline does not matter. Okay. Design and presentation of course design along with content sufficient without data. Okay. So Sarvada is asking, can we only have a design of a course as a paper and not running of a course because it's not possible to run it before July. Okay. So yeah, so you can put it up in the, I think we will figure out what is required to do that. But even for LCM model, we did publish. Just look at the first paper on LCM. So that was done. But I think even for that, you would have, before planning the course like that, you must have done something in the past to design that course in the way that you want. The rationale given to the inclusion or the curation of that course will be required. If you have that, probably that can be, if that is documented, we can take that into it. We can get maybe experts interviews on that about why do you think this design of the course is ideal course. And experts could be possible to give you interviews before July. So that could be an option. Do validation from the experts, not from the developers. Yeah, rationale emerging from previous course, literature and experts now to validate it. Yeah, anybody else?
Sorry, sir, just to understand, can't Saroja's problem be solved by, say, altering one of the research questions to be about analysis of course rationale? Like that would be answering one of the research questions.
Yeah, exactly. But that's where I said that even if we alter the research question itself, that we can do. But then how do we prove it? Because that would be the second question. Like what is our answer to it? So the answer could be that because experts say so, because it is, or because my experience with a different group says so. So this will make a slightly stronger case. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, so if there are no more questions, I'm very happy to find out. Then maybe you can just go on and start. You can keep posting on Telegram group if you are done with the content and done with the assignment. I think if we get everyone's assignments and activities done, we can release it on even 70. Doesn't matter. Right, Nanda?
Yes.
Okay, great. Natasha is first one to press the like. Because okay. So let us see what comes up. Jatin has a point. Okay, go ahead, Jatin.
No, sir, I just by mistake.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I think we are done. We can stop the streaming, and if we want to, this video is going to be published in the course as well. So people who have missed the lecture today or this thing,